Hey guys, and welcome to another video here on Level 10 Gamers. As you may have noticed, I have my NAS. As you may have noticed, I have my NAS on the bench today. It's not that long ago since we rebuilt this with old hardware. That rebuild turned out to be a waste of time because the FX9590 CPU that's in here is way too hot for any cooler that fits into this chassis. It requires water cooling. That's just the way it is. And water cooling in this chassis is impossible. And it's a server, so I don't really want it. I'm not Linus. So what we're going to do is a generation swap. So we're going to rip out all the old motherboard, CPU, and RAM and throw in brand new. But before we do that, we're going to need to open this because we need what's inside. So let's have a look. This one, yeah, not so much. Nice to have kind of thing. This one is, oh yeah, it's for connecting that. This is the little, or the big deal. This is, go up. Okay, thank you. It's just a return label and probably some warranty. No, that's how to, but okay, let's leave that here. This, my friends, is what is known as, oh, let's open this correctly. The Gamer Nexus mod mat. And if I'm not mistaken, yep, there we go. Oh, well, there that goes. As you can see in the corner, it's signed by Steve himself, which is really nice. I opted for the signed version. Oh, sorry. I opted for the signed version because it was like 200 NOK extra, and yeah, it's cool. So we're going to have to move the server, put this under, and then we can work on it. Right, so there, everything old is out. That needs to be replaced at least, and we can have a look at the new parts. So here's the Asus EXA320M Gaming motherboard. I chose this exact one because it supports onboard video with DVI, which is something I need because I have a NAS that sits in a rack, and there's a KVM switch that is very old, and it doesn't support HDMI, so I needed that. So here it is, and put this aside. Oh, not on the screws, Morbidos. That's not smart. And we want to be smart. It does kind of remind me of the old 90s motherboard with the color scheme. Gladly, or luckily, it's going in a NAS and a non-glass case, which is nice. Because I really don't want this showing because it's ugly as fuck. And to power it all, Ryzen! It's the Ryzen 5 3400G, which comes with a built-in graphics card. Which one is it? I can't remember. Radeon Vega 11 graphics, which doesn't matter because it's basically DOS. But all right, we're going to install that as well, but we'll have a look at this. Here's the OS drive. We're going to be running FreeNAS on this, so this is plenty space enough and plenty quick enough. And to handle it all, 16 gigabytes of DDR4 2666 HyperX memory, and yeah, a couple of adapters just to make the video out work. Right, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? As you may have noticed, I do have an AM4 cooler on the old motherboard, which is from Noctua, which is quite nice, but I'm thinking I'm going to be, I'll try to run it with a rate cooler that comes with it, just for fun, really. If it's too noisy, I'll swap over to the other one. It fits for both, so it doesn't really matter. And noise isn't too much of a concern, but it's in the next room, so I kind of like to keep it down as low as possible. Right, so here's the CPU. Let's go ahead and install that. There we are. Lift the arm thingy. And there's the corner. And there's the corner. All right, so it's going to slot in just like so. There we are. And close it up. That's so much more easy than the Threadripper. Jesus Christ, that was a job and a half. All right, put that back in there and crack the cooler. Oh God, this looks cheap. But hey, at least it comes with pre-applied thermal paste, so I don't need to use mine, which is kind of nice. All right. It'll be this direction. Oh. Well, okay, yeah. We need to actually remove the old brackets first because this won't fit on those brackets. Right, let's remove those. Where did I put my thingy? There it is. It's a tad too small, this screwdriver, but we'll make it work. It's not like we don't have a bigger one just right next to me, but it doesn't matter. There we are. Move. These ones we're going to have to keep safe because we're going to need them if we're swapping over the other cooler. But for now, we're going to go with it like this. There we are. There we are. Come on. Slot in. There. Goody. Just to get them started and then cross. Yes, they are actually thumb screws, but I prefer to do it like so. Right, now just the last couple of trims. There we go. Ta-da! And that's done. All right, now where's the CPU header? Probably be this one, since there's only one. We might run into some issues with fans of this, which is, that's a pump, chassis fan. We might need to install a fan controller, but okay, we'll deal with that. Right, RAM. Wow, that cable is really going to annoy me, isn't it? Should probably install the RAM before we install the cooler, but no, can't win them all. Now I know, yes, you're supposed to test it on the bench, but I have confidence in new hardware. Hold up. Needs this one first. I can't install it without. Excuse me. And of course, the screw. Hopefully it comes with the screw. If not, I have to dig into my box, see if I have one. And lo and behold, I do get a driver CD, but no screw for the goddamn drive. Come on, Asus. Driver CDs are useless now. Screws, very handy. Apparently not. All right, I'm going to go and dig in a different box for that screw, and I'll be right back. Right, so after arguing with the connection diagram, I'm going to put a picture of what's written on the motherboard. For quite some time, as you may have seen, both me and Dunphy had to look at it, scratch our head a bit, and then Google it and figured out that we actually had it wrong. But now it's supposed to be correct, and it's supposed to start. Of course, there's no OS, but we should get BIOS. So let's have a little look-see, see if it starts. Turn the power on. Well, we have RGB. Ooh. There's 4 RGBs on this card. That's what you get? No, there's 3. 3 RGBs. Great. Well, fan start. CPU fan starts. Check the signal cable. Yeah, that's good job, Morbidos. Right, after having connected the monitor cable, yay! Let's try now. See if we get post. Come on! Anytime now. Whenever you feel. You can do it. Please do it. As you can see, we have post. It's one of those things that you just never know. We took all the RAM chips out and we slotted in one, started it, it worked. Slotted in the second one, it didn't work, moved that out. Third one in the second slot, that worked. Fourth one in the third slot, that worked. Then the one that didn't work in the fourth slot, didn't work, took it out, put it back in, and it worked. So nobody touch it, because it's working. All right, so I'm going to run through a BIOS update to make sure I'm on the latest BIOS, and then I'm going to install FreeNAS and set it up as it was. To take you through a couple of things that have changed, I've removed, of course, the old motherboard and the old graphics card that was in it. I've also, well, I'm going to put the brace back in, but I've removed a couple of hard drives. These are drives that I suspect might be covered by the SMR error that Linus, put a link up here to his video. He's talking about shingled magnetic drives, and FreeNAS doesn't work very well. But I do think that the problem was more to the motherboard or the CPU overheating because I had reboot issues. I've also removed the SATA SSD that was in here and another one of these 1 terabyte, well, 1.5 terabyte Western Digital Greens that were in here because someone naming me kind of forgot a bit of an important thing. I forgot that this motherboard only has four SATA slots. So I'm going to have to buy a SATA controller card and put in to get all my drives in. I can run all the drives that are in the NAS at the moment, but I cannot expand it with the extra drives that I put in to expand it to cover our new channel and all that stuff. We'll get back to that in a later video. Anywho, it works for now. I'm going to set it up and run it as it is, and then I'm going to buy a controller card, and we'll do another video when we update that with the new specs and everything. I'm looking into buying new drives as well because the greens are old drives and prone to failure. But for now, it works. It's up and running. It's quiet-ish. I'm happy with the CPU cooler. As long as it keeps it cool, I'm going to keep it. That'll be all for this video, and I'll update on the Instagram when everything is up and running again, and I'll see you in the next video.